Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz. Today I am playing one of the new German light tanks. This tank is the SPIC or SP1C, I actually don't know what it's called. It's very small, as you can see, and it weighs nothing. It weighs under 10 tons, fully equipped, so that means that anything that rams you is going to give you some significant problems. It's also very lightly armored. It has, at best, 10 millimeters of protection. So that means that anything that shoots at you is gonna penetrate, because everything, pretty much every gun that you can meet, has at least 3 times the caliber of this tank's armor. So this game I'm on Winter Malinovka, and normally I would go to the mill, but I can see that my team are not eager to follow me, so I decide to push down and support them at the lake. Sometimes you see teams that don't go the typical locations where you might prefer to go to, and instead of just rushing off alone to your well-known location where you feel comfortable, make sure that you help your team and play to their advantages. So I'm trying to stay out of line of fire. But I get into a bit of trouble here. You see, I'm trying to go down for the shot on the T20, when suddenly Mr. VK3601H, he rams me and I weigh nothing, so he just pushes me out of the way. I take a lot of damage. I'm pretty much down to a one shot in a second, and yeah, that's a bit annoying. The team needs to use you as a light tank to their advantage. So that means you have pretty good DPM, you have very good mobility, and you have good view range. So all of those traits are not easily exploited if your team simply pushes you out in front of 3-4 enemy tanks shooting at once. So we do manage to take out the majority of the team down here, 3 enemies down, and it's actually looking pretty good right now. So I decided to push around the lake, use my view range. And another thing that this tank gets, which is very novel, is amazing camo rating. If you look at it in the garage, you will see it is absolutely tiny. It's lower profiled than an Object 140, but I guess it does cheat a bit, because the silhouette means, since it's very slim, it looks a lot taller than it actually is. So this tank is not tall. It's very small, and it's very nimble to drive. The great things about the new light tanks that have come out is the mobility. It's just so much fun to race around the battlefield, punish your enemies, and keep your gun singing. So far, the German line has been I think it's been really great. The tanks have had amazing DPM, very good and high penetration, good guns, and I think so far this tank is the one that I feel that tier for tier is the weakest tank. While it is a lot of fun to drive because of the autoloader, that's right, this tank gets a 90mm autoloader capable of doing 450 damage with its 2-shot, and that is enough to take 1/3 of most of the enemy medium tanks that you'll meet, and probably actually most of the tier 7 tanks you'll meet, to take at least 1/3 of their hit points away. So if you ever get in a one-on-one situation, make sure that you have the upper hand when it comes to when you fire and when you engage the enemy. This tank, it does not perform well if it has to fight multiple enemies at once. It's best suited at looking at one enemy, putting a full clip into it, getting out of cover, or getting into cover, and waiting for the reload, and then putting 2 shells. Luckily, this tank has the mobility to do just that. So this game has gone pretty well. You can see that we cleared up, even though we didn't go to the mill, which is the typical location on this map. We had a pretty successful game, and we are now finishing off the last AFK T150. So I think this was a pretty good game. It did showcase the weakness of this tank, which is the absolutely horrific armor. Everything that shot at me penetrated, regardless where they hit. So anyway, let's just take a quick look at the stats. I did manage to do 3,700 damage and get a first class. So it was a pretty good game for me, but let's get stuck into the next one, which is even more epic. So this time we're on Dead Rail, and I'm in a tier 7 match again, and I can see that we have 2 light tanks, the Dragon and I. I am a bit concerned about rushing the middle hill here, because I can see that the Jag Panther, he's over in the TD spawn location corner, and am unsure whether or not he's going to be able to give me some supporting fire, but I decide let's rush the middle, let's see if we can get some vision for our team, see if we can spot any enemies. But surprisingly, we don't spot any enemies at all. So a few things you need to know about this tank. It has the 90mm auto loader that I mentioned, which is very, very nice for doing 450 damage in a very short amount of time. One thing that sucks about the gun is the shell velocity. The shells travel very, very slowly, so that means you have to give a lot of lead when you're aiming at targets that are further away. So you can see we spot the KV-1. The accuracy isn't great either, as you just saw, but I did manage to land a single shot. Apart from the gun, the tank has no armor, as I mentioned, and the mobility is a bit behind what the other German tanks had. So the VK2801 had, in my opinion at least, much better mobility. It also had some armor, and that tank is just truly epic in my opinion. Really so much fun to drive. Amazing tank. So I hope you guys all have the chance to pick it up and do some games in it. It's really brilliant. I'm going to be doing a video on it as well, so keep your eyes open for that. So I'm trying to shoot this Comet here. I don't know why I don't think about shooting through the cover. That was one of the changes that was introduced in update 2.6, and I really think this update has been it's been very nice. These light tanks are a lot of fun to drive, and they really give you the option not only to earn your crew experience, but also to have some tanks that have extremely good mobility and also terrific DPM. So it's kind of looking ugly in this game. I can see that my friends here at the rails, we are pretty much getting slaughtered, and I don't wanna go over and help them, because I'm gonna be putting myself in the line of fire of a lot of enemies. So this VK, you can see he hit me once and he did 360 or over 300 damage, and he was using the derp gun, and even HE from most tanks is gonna penetrate you. So especially if you meet an enemy SP1C, make sure you have some HE rounds with you, because you can really punish the enemies by using the HE rounds instead of the regular AP. So I unfortunately go up the hill there. I get spotted. Yeah, I did not want to get spotted. I wanted to go around the map, make sure that I had the upper hand. So now I'm gonna have a one-on-one with this Comet. Luckily, our J Panther, he manages to put some shots into him, and the Comet penetrates me. He should have rammed me there. If he had rammed me, I would most likely have died, because as I said earlier, this tank has next to no armor. But you can see the great mobility. He's a medium tank, I'm a light tank. That's the difference. This tank is just much more nimble to move, much quicker, and you can also actually circle enemy medium tanks. Maybe not in the SP1C, because the SP1C, like I said earlier, it does not have the best mobility. It feels kind of sluggish, to be honest, at least compared to the previous tanks in this line. So I'm really looking forward to the RU251. I think that's gonna be an epic tank, fastest tank in the game. So I decided to go for a reload. I can see that the enemies are pushing aggressively. They must have spotted our J Panther. I want to stay concealed as long as I can and try to put some shots into these guys. And I unload a full clip into the Jag Panther, taking off a lot of his hit points, almost 50% of his hit points. So that was a really good result for me. But unfortunately, my J Panther friend now gets it, and I do land some more shots on the J Panther. The J Panther has actually re-stealthed now. I'm gonna try to sit here for a moment, try to catch him again. I have this tank equipped with gun rammer, binoculars, and vertical stabilizers. The vertical stabilizers really come in handy, because in this tank you don't want to sit still too long. You wanna at least when you're engaging enemies, you want to keep moving around them, keep trying to punish them. So this is down to a 1 versus 3 situation, and it's pretty tense for me actually. I know that the enemies, they have to put 2 shots if they are lucky, 1 shot if it's the KV-1S shooting HE. Into me before I'm dead. So you really need to conceal yourself and make sure you can use the strengths of the tank, which is the great armor value, the small silhouette, and the great mobility. So I smash into the train there, but luckily no one's there to punish me for it. And you're gonna see something quite interesting now. You're gonna see that I spot the Tiger 1 at very close range without him spotting me. So this was maybe 150 meters. And he didn't spot me. Of course, I'm using camouflage, but still 150 meters compared to his 240 meters view range, I was not spotted, and that means that this tank has epic camo value, and that's very, very nice to know when you're driving these light tanks. So I know he's a one shot, so I want to go out and take him down. I'll manage to land a shot, and I quickly pull back into cover. But the KV-1S, he appears. I know that he's probably the most dangerous target of all of them. One shot from his HE ammunition should be able to one-shot me, so I decide to push back, go up the hill, try to use the bushes, and try to use the great gun depression on this tank to punish him. He's coming around me, he doesn't have a clear shot at me, even though he spotted me. I think I can get into a position where I'm going to be able to land my 2 shots, maybe without him landing one in return. So I'm re-stealthed now. I know he's going to be coming in here. I decide to push out. There he is. One shot. Oh, and he manages to punish me big time. You can see that almost took off all of my hit points. If he had been shooting HE there, he would have killed me and I would not have won this game. So I decide to push down, see what's going on, and I spot the Jag Panther now. Load some heat. Oh, it's tense. Oh, I managed to take him out. 5 kills. Call Banov's medal. I mean, this was basically Light Tank 101. So I hope you guys enjoyed the replays, and I hope you considered playing this tank. It's a lot of fun. So have fun, and bye-bye.